3:65.7 for the young gun at 208 miles per hour in the left lane. Ward, on the other hand, been tuned by the Monday racing team. Monday was out there helping him out with the tune-up for Derek Ward as they work together out of Friendship, Maryland. He's got that beautiful, and I mean gorgeous, I might as well throw that word out there. That Chevrolet Camaro is stunning looking.
5 spots separate him on the qualifying sheet. If you talk about a 16-car field, you think one guy is qualified 5th, another is qualified 10th. You think, man, 10th place guy's in big trouble. Jones qualifies 14th at 3:65.7. Ward is only 9 thousandths behind him at 3:66.6, and he's 5 positions behind him.
Well, there's the thump of the throttle right there for the young kid. Everyone taking a look. That's a gorgeous little Chevrolet Corvette racing in the NHRA Racing Series in Pro Mod, him and his father. As you said, his dad raced a stint in Elkhart Funny Car for quite a while, and they said they want to put some doors on it, so they did the last 4 years. Here they come. Jeff Jones standing behind, way back here by the box, watching his son roll up here to the starting line. The tuner, the crew chief, and the man that makes it happen, Brandon Pesz, down there on his knee, watching the car and seeing how she accepts the lead. Right here, he's watching the back end of that car. He wants to see how it goes. They have 2 other cars in competition.
Jones is out first, but here comes Ward. It is going to be Jones.
Wow!
3:66.6 beats a 3:66.0. Justin Jones is 28 on the tree, 56 for Ward, and that was the margin of victory.
All right, I'll hang out with him.
A great run there for young Justin Jones to advance on to round number 2.
How about it, man? Here comes Scott Wildgust. The Canadian team, Smokey's Garage. Funny, he's even got a Remax sponsor on the quarter panel. I was telling a story about Remax back in Canada just to you guys this week. How about it? Talking into the wire as they roll up. Scott Wildgust, all the way from Ontario.
This time it's J.R. Gray with a 7-position advantage over Wildgust, but less than 100th of a second. 65 to a 66 in qualifying. Gray out of the Gray Contracting and Land Clearing business. 900, well, it is not a 900-inch motor. It's a big supercharged Outlaw-style motor in this car. It's got a screw blower on it. This is not an NHRA legal car. It may look like one, but it ain't. Hey, well, JR stuff end-to-end.
You know, he's not sitting with the left leg in the air after last night, losing 10,000.
He's trying to make some money back today.
He needs to get in there and get the job done. Well, this is a tough customer right here from Canada. This is not an easy one here. They're both gone 360s, one with a 66.6, 65.5 for Gray and the Gray Construction. Sponsored Holly Hill, South Carolina-based racing team. Rolls up there, and here we go.
First round last year, Wildgust beat Raymond Matos. Going to have to take out another big name if he wants to go to the second round for 2 years in a row.
Well, smoke him if you got him. Here comes Wildgust to the top of the lights.
We have seen one whole shot victory so far this round early in competition. And J.R. Gray, as you mentioned, he's got the bit in his mouth right now. He wants to make his money back from the defeat he suffered in the match race last night.
They're in. They're out, almost identical on a stripe, and wow, let's sing it, Ralph Nader. Oh, Canada. How about that down there in the left lane? 368, 204 miles per hour, ribbing it up. So Smokey's Garage going to another round, and J.R. Gray just thinking about all the action he's had here this weekend and the 10,000 that he lost to Lyle Barnett, and now just saying
it's another 10. Really, he lost 10 grand last night and lost about 10 mile an hour in the top end here at 192 miles an hour. That car normally runs 204, 205 in that zone. So something went away in the back end of that race because he was better to 60 and 330. Wildgust drove by him.
Look at Mike Decker Jr. all the way from the East Coast, just burning up the tires right there for Decker Jr. out of Woodstock, Maryland.
Mike Decker Jr., the champion of 2 years running now, the Northeast Outlaw Pro Mod Association, won the Yellow Bullet Nationals, won the Shakedown, is trying to put a kind of a trifecta of huge race wins under his belt in 2022. His daughter's 7th birthday. And Bob Glenn doesn't care about Decker's daughter's birthday. Doesn't care about any of that stuff, any championship. Glenn just wants to get down to the finish line in as quick a fashion as he can. And again, these cars separated by nearly 10 spots on the ladder or the qualifying sheet, but less than 100th of a second on paper. It's
incredible. That is incredible, isn't it? When you start looking at that, it's almost like you're back at the office watching Pro Stock.
Both lanes appear to be incredibly equal as we've seen good runs made on both sides of the racetrack. We'll find out if Decker can be aggressive enough. For Bob Glenn, we have breaking news being handed to me by Law right now. The cheap date combo of the day has been announced. Hot dog, fries, and a drink for $11. Depending on how much you like your date, you can either split the hot dog or add an additional one for a couple of bucks.
Well, I'll tell you what.
If it's not that good a date, you're probably going to share the hot dog. If things are going all right, spring for the second one.
I hate to outmark again. They're going to get ready to go down there. Look at that car in the white. Oh, looks a bobble. Does it cost him? It does. Makes a bobble for Bob Glenn down there. 059, 035. Decker cut him up on the reaction time, and they were close enough together on the 60-foot, 933, 939. Down to the split, 45, 946 for Glenn. Win's going to go to Decker Jr. down there, 364.2, 209 miles per hour. The number 12 car takes out 21 and advances to round number 2.
You're a brilliant race, just 600s at the stripe as Brandon Snyder and Jericho Balduf come up, and the hits just keep on coming.
That's the black horse right there. And you told me he better be really one of the blackest horses ever because the guy he's racing this morning.
Yeah, if they flew the bat signal this morning, hopefully somebody saw it because they're going to need a few hundreds at minimum of performance to hang with Brandon Snyder if all things are equal. Chain A service. Camaro made its way back now to the starting line. Balduf is a car who has found success in Pro Boost. He's run NHRA stuff. He's run all over the place with this Chevelle.
He's got the Stewart Performance, push rod, Outlaw Racing Fuels, and brand new Andy McCoy chassis 69 Chevrolet Chevelle. Here we go. Still a cool looking car. And really, if you weren't here Friday and Saturday, this guy wheeled this car so hard. I mean, at one point in the left lane, me and Brian looked at each other. So he didn't lift. He went right to the final stripe down there in the 1/8 of a mile to get his best run of 367.7.
Great reaction times across the board as well in this first round. People chopping at the Christmas tree. We'll find out what Balduf has up his sleeve. If he can buy himself a couple of hundreds here, he may find himself in the next round.
Oh, there it is. Look at that thing acting up again down there, but not enough. What a drag race, though.
Whole shot win for Brandon Snyder by 4/10,000ths of a second. 368.4 beats a 368.3 in the tightest race we have seen of any class or category of the entire day so far. Snyder was 43 in the tree. Balduf was 44. They run within a thou, but it's Snyder using up way less than a thou. 4/10,000ths at the stripe.
Not one to want to tune a car while it's going down the track, but if Balduf could have just kept that thing down out of the air, he might have been finding himself to round number 2. You got wood? Well, you do now. Here's Stan Shelton coming up. And the Ghetto Sleigh with a beautiful smoky burnout to wake us all up on a Sunday morning here. Don't matter if you went to church or not. That man is ready to rock right there in the right lane. Indiana's finest. Brownsburg, Indiana, be that fact. The excavator by trade. And the man who owns that company will back his little Chevrolet up. Now with a Pro Charger on the front of it. Took the turbos off. He's number 23. And the only thing that can really take you with the 400ths of the difference from Stan Shelton is Shelton had 2 back-to-back bad qualifiers, shutoffs.
Yes, those 2 runs certainly hurt them in their ability to really push that thing and get it maybe a little bit deeper into the 360s than they wanted, but they got to a 364, which was mighty impressive, and we have seen those numbers be laid up on the board today. So there's still plenty of racetrack, plenty of atmosphere to work with. A battle of different power adders. The top 5 positions were all occupied by different power adders this weekend, which is an incredible thing to think about.
So the Gulf Rumble machine of Stan Shelton's going to make its way up here to the starting line. So close to getting into that pre-staging beam. The whole team down there right behind the car. Let's see if they probably had the thing apart last night looking for anything to why it would make those hard moves. And maybe they took a little out. Well, it's race day, and they got it figured out, but man, and it does. How about it? Stan Shelton, 367, and way off on that pace of 372. They couldn't find that 68 that put him in number 23, that being Jeff Rudolph. So Rudolph will give it away down on the mile per hour a little bit, 198, about 207. So
here's what the winning reaction times have been so far. The worst winning light so far in the first round is 49. 37, 35, 37, 32, 28, and 43, the other winning reaction times. Don't even bother. If you can't be 50 or better, don't even bother.
Told you they were up all night.
Trailer. Wow.
You know what I mean? Some of them got the callus on the thumb right now, but man, that is drag racing.
This is the premier matchup of the first round. Stevie Fast Jackson and Todd Tutterow sit behind the water box. It is Jackson. Fresh supercharger, fresh cylinder heads on this engine last night. And for Todd Tutterow, the defending, right now, the 2022 World Champion in PDRA Pro Boost, comes in as the number 9 qualifier. Tire pressure adjustment being made for Stevie Fast Jackson's Corvette down there with the J&A service logos on the door. Two huge names. You have a guy who idolized Todd Tutterow growing up. This was the guy that Stevie always wanted to become. He wanted to race his way up the ladder in the ranks, and now he sits across the racetrack from him.
And gets to do what he came to do. We'll find out, man. Todd Tutterow, one of the best in the business. Stevie Jackson has proven himself to be one of the best in this business of pro modified racing. What, 2 championships over where you were?
Yes, back to back.
Wow.
2019 and 2020 championship. Tutterow has amassed multiple digit championships across a career that has spanned almost every form of Dorsal Lambert drag racing that has existed. And again, we talk about that memorable final round at the 50th running of the Gator Nationals, where Tutterow did take out Stevie Fast Jackson on a hole shot. Well, Stevie Fast was making the quickest run in history at that time.
Very cool, and what a way to go home, knowing you were the fastest guy, right? And old King Tut took you out right there. One-time bulldozer operator, guy who did a lot of dirt moving, Todd Tutterow, out of Yackenville. P2 Contractors, getting ready to bring it to life again. Kurt Steding's second car, his tuner, and the guy that helps out with the team doing the driving, Todd Tutterow. Let's see how they fare right here. Stevie Fast Jackson.
Tutterow out-qualified Jackson by 0.04 of a second. It is number 9 Tutterow, number 24 Stevie Fast. Not a place we expect to see or hear about a guy sitting with the caliber of racer that Stevie is, but that's the way it shook out for him. A week that has been almost an endless frustration of trying to make this car go quicker and faster. The 368, the quickest run he has made since testing began early, and I mean early this week, like Tuesday.
One thing I know, he's probably been up all night in that little office of his in that trailer trying to figure things out. Let's see if they find what they needed here for the end of the week. As they roll in, Tutterow to the top lights. It's going to be the light game. Jackson goes right in, double bulb, and here comes Todd. Lights it down!
Tutterow's up by 200s, and he takes him to the cleaners down there. 364.6 at 205. Jackson goes 375.2 at 199 miles an hour. Todd had him on both ends by a leash by the time they got to the finish line.
Man, you're not kidding. What a job. What a job well done for the man in the right lane. He'll be back for round number 2, Todd Tutterow. With more action coming out of the water box. You can hear him down there. As the boss. Don't throw any radios today, my friend. Here they come.
Lyle Barnett and Jason Harris coming up right now.
Oh,
yeah, this is
same hood.
Yeah, this is something.
The same hood right here coming out of the Carolinas, North Carolina, Gastonia for Lyle. His father down there checking out the track as he walks back and looking at his son strapped into a rented ride or a borrowed ride or just a tested ride.
For Lyle, he is getting this thing basically shaken out for the likes of Marty Robertson. It is going to see competition at the World Series of Pro Modified coming here in March. The Type A Motorsports car, as we talked about, this car has made nearly 20 runs since testing began, every single time it's made the trip. Jason Harris, a multi-time PDRA Pro Nitrous champion, has made the switch into Pro Boost going forward in this Pro Charge car. His father, Bob, brought him into the beams, so he's making a switch. We'll find out if Lyle Barnett can keep the momentum going that he began last night with a $10,000 win over J.R. Gray.
All right, we're looking at Pro 275 to the lanes, please. Pro 275 to the lanes. Oh, you were right.
And Lyle Barnett goes 366.9 red. Jason Harris goes to round number 2, a 15 green light start, 378.1. It was looking like curtains for Harris, and then you look across the racetrack and see the red light illuminated on the bottom of the tree. Lyle Barnett is out in round number 1.
All right, so wow. I mean, that really upsetting after watching, but I mean, well-deserved. Jason Harris out there didn't lay down the number we'd thought, but man, he was there for the white, 15 on the white, but Lyle just finding the wrong side of green right there. So here we go, Ken Quartuccio, Wallingford, Connecticut, 69 Chevrolet. Doing the burnout right there for the number 7 qualifier. He's gone 63 with a 2. And Robert Cox out of Carleton, Michigan.
So Ken Quartuccio, Robert Cox out of Michigan, Pesz and Tripicals here. Cox's car was a twin turbo machine. It was last year he made the switch to the Pro Charger. Quartuccio with his crew, Jamie Miller, the crew chief, Jamie's son Johnny down there, who has advanced very quickly in this sport. Obviously, he worked with a dad like Jamie, and he has come a long way in a short period of time as one of the youngest guys out here that has ever-growing responsibilities with some of the fastest and most well-known cars. Johnny's coming along quick. Wheelie bars being set. Congratulations on the engagement of Ken Quartuccio's daughter to her now fiance Jason. Everybody's getting engaged around here, man. A couple of kids in love over here to my right. A couple of people in the pits, a couple of people on the starting line. You two schmucks, that's what I'm talking about. You two schmucks over here.
All right, with that.
Something nice, try to say something nice, now you're a schmuck. That's what happens.
With that, they slam the old door and say, get it done. Gorgeous Chevrolet. Ken Quartuccio.
It was tire shake for Quartuccio, but he's able to get around him. 367 to 203. That was looking dicey for a second. Robert Cox runs 370 at flat at 203, but Quartuccio by 400ths gets the job done.
Well, he's doing what he did last year, going some rounds. He got the first one out of the way. A few more to get there where he wants to be. So they'll bring up our next 2 Pro Modifieds here for the $50,000. It's going to be the representation Cabaman, Puerto Rico, man. They'll be over here out of Raymond Matos' team, the 2020 Chevrolet Camaro in the left lane. That didn't sound good.
No, that did not sound good at all. As Matos maybe backed up. Nope, he's going to move ahead. He is going to back that car into the water again. Travis Harvey hasn't even begun his burnout of that nitrous-injected Corvette.
Well, he's ice cold down there. That guy can drive. One of the best right there. There's Raymond Matos with the burnout, laying down the law in the left lane. Now it's time for the nitrous oxide Chevrolet Corvette of Harvey to get it on.
So for Travis, it is maybe one of the biggest spreads we've seen as far as qualifying elapsed times, meaning Harvey ran 369, 369, 372, 372, and 372 in that car. Matos' car, a multitude of mid and low 60s runs. But they don't call this guy the Carolina Kid for nothing. Well known in the grudge racing world, well known, of course, in this style of racing as well, but he can shoot the bulbs out of the tree. We talk about it all the time. You can get a little bit back. It looks like that car may have lost fire. Harvey's got his palms up right now, and it may appear that their day is over. Yes, he's taking his gloves off.
Oh, man, something leaking or something. I saw a little bit of leakage down there that they were checking out. That's a shame right there. Well, for one it is. The other, not too much. Dan Ferguson, tell him you got a broken bike. Go out there and get it. Run that thing for lane choice if you must.
Matos to get lane choice will have to be better than 368.4, which is what his Snyder ran. And he will be. Matos 367.8 at 205.85. We'll go to round 2 with lane choice over Brandon Snyder.
Very, very cool stuff. Dan Ferguson, all the high fives, showing that he has that championship caliper to be out there on that team still. Good kid, man.
Was it a front or a rear caliper?
It was the side caliper.
Jim Halsey. Jim Halsey. And Billy Banaka will be coming up next. You can see the mops out there just cleaning up whatever residual was off of Harvey's car.
Yeah, kind of a little loopy.
Pro 275, you should be rolling toward the staging lanes. Pro 275, round 1. You should be rolling towards the staging lanes now. Pro 275, round 1. M&M Transmissions customers set records and win races with the quickest and fastest door slammers in the world. We pride ourselves in reliability and performance. From our custom turbo-hydromatic 400 transmissions to our lightweight, high-precision shifters and the torque converters in between, we have one goal, helping you win. M&M Transmission proudly sponsoring Outlaw Pro Modified this weekend.
Awesome deal, man. You got Brandon Schweitzer down there in Schweitzer Dynamics getting ready to bring up that tuned Halsey machine, that 209-mile-per-hour beast at 361.2. Put him number 5. He started out way at the top here on Friday at number 1 or 2. I think number 2. Then he just got pushed down the ladder a little bit to number 5 throughout the day. And Billy...
It's like the rotator going to come out here and just clean up the whatever is left out there. They get most of it with the mops, but they want to make sure it is all gone, so the rotator will fix that for us. Pro 275, we need you to the staging lanes, please. Pro 275 to the lanes. Starting to see those cars roll out of Team Bujinga's pit area and others.
Yeah, guys and gals, watch out. Out of the way of the tractor. The guys that are grooming the track, please. Out of the way. Thank you so much. Marcus Burt down there getting ready for his shot here. Pro 275. Tim Morris in the house this weekend. Hopefully he's got everything dialed in with the J-Lo powered 69 Chevrolet Camaro.
Did they TIG weld the steering wheel on last night?
JB weld. They couldn't get all the welders left.
Oh, that's
so
good stuff.
Street or strip, prep or no prep, bracket killer or heads up warrior. It feels great to eliminate your competition. Demand the best in suspension and cooling components. Demand AFCO.
For more than 25 years, ProCharger has made the most powerful, reliable, and advanced supercharger kits on the market. More than 100 national championships in the last 15 years, and thousands of wins at the racetrack, there's only one choice. Best-in-class performance on the street with the broadest product selection available, including 50 state legal system. ProCharger. Invented, engineered, and built in the USA.
Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Ryan Karate down there having a crew chief meeting with Petty and Miller and Tidwell. Waiting for Antron to come up. Of course, he'll be running in Pro 275 as those cars are heading to the staging lanes now.
Feed up alive in the staging lanes with Pro Mod driver Kevin Rivenbark. Kevin, driving Scott Tidwell's car this weekend. Track's getting hot, weather's getting hot. What kind of challenges does that present for you guys going into round one?
Well, usually I'd say it's pretty tricky, but we've been down every pass, and I feel good that Petty give me a good tune-up to get down there about a 63, 64. It's just a matter of me getting my job done.
We've seen a handful of upsets so far in this round. It's been kind of exciting. What are you guys looking to run as you guys inch up to the starting line?
Probably 63, 64 is what we're looking for. Try to get down there. We won the 60 flat last night, so we feel like 64 will be a good number to shoot for.
We're looking forward to seeing what happens when you guys get up in just a minute. Track prep is underway to clean up a little bit of oil. We'll be back to the action in just a minute.
Gator tractor is going to get put back in its place. Much like my administrative assistant has been several times this weekend, but doing pretty good so far this morning. Hanging in there. Yes, you did overnight. We made a promotion. Good work. She was going to file an HR complaint about abusive behavior, so I gave her a promotion to squash that. I am also the HR department, yeah. Oh, good. Tucci handles catering, I handle HR. Works out for both of us. Who's your fashion designer? Yeah. Yeah, my guy is Mr. Tux. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. It's Italian. It's pronounced Tuxe. I like my Jimmy Choo shoes as well. Thank you, man. Thank you.
They do.
I appreciate
that. They
that.
look comfortable.
From one guy to another, I appreciate
They look comfortable, man. Oh, look at the fashionetta. Oh, Jimmy Choo on TV. You have to watch him on TV. He's got him on.
Yeah, I'll have my Luba Sharks on when I go to the NMCA banquet next week. You know why? Because the Daddy Shark's coming right now. Jim Halsey. See that? That's called a segue, folks. That's professional announcer stuff right there.
Wow. Well, that thing made a little move for Banaka over there out of Brandon, Mississippi. The S&B Trucking LLC 68 Chevrolet Camaro will be on the right side backing up after his burnout. But here is one of the baddest nitrous cars in the country. As Brian Rhodes pointed out yesterday, a couple of PDRA championships. This guy never sets back. He's had NHRA championships. He's been over in the pro nitrous ranks with this thing. Now it's time to put it to work here as the number 5 qualifier and 361.2 to bring to the table at 209.
Here's what I like about Banaka's chances here. This is the type of guy who has raced on racetracks that you wouldn't want to walk down, let alone run a pro mod down. He has raced at all kinds of small places. He's running the big stage. He's not going to get overwhelmed in the moment here, but he can also wheel. So this is the type of guy who's got ice water in his veins. And for Jimmy Halsey, of course, we know what he wants to accomplish this year. Halsey had a tough break for himself last year at this event as he lost in the first round of Melanie Salemi. We talked about how Melanie struggled in qualifying last year, then came out great guns on race day. Halsey was victimized first by that, and she ended up beating up on everybody she saw, but it was Jim the first out.
Do you still, even though you go out first round to get in the trailer, even after you find out she won, do you still beat yourself up and go, she won the race at least?
I mean, I think it takes a little bit of the edge off, but still, those first couple hours are probably pretty dicey.
You're right. Oh, man. Here they are. Oh, no. Banaka rolled through, man. Halsey's got that jinx off his back now. He's going to round number 2. 368.2 at 207 miles per hour. All the way down yonder. How about that? And I don't know what happened. Did you catch that with your eye, the Superman eye that you have?
It looked like almost some of the trans brake. The way the car just kind of lurched itself like that is kind of an awkward move there for Banaka. Tough break, tough way to end his day. But Halsey, like you said, he'll take it, moving on around number 2.
That'll bring up our next 2, and it will be the man that holds the mile per hour for this weekend. The twin turbocharged, hyperactive tuned Chevrolet Camaro. Mark Werderhausen coming up now into the water box. Here we go.
How about this? Next round, Halsey Decker.
Wow.
Halsey Decker, the 2 Marylanders.
Wow, I'm telling you what.
Halsey might not let him back in a racetrack if he beats him in a second round.
Give him the old finger down there, not the one I'm talking about, but just you better remember who you're racing here. Now, they're going to stay with the burnout. I guess that's good enough. They didn't even see no smoke or anything. The thing just came out and launched its way, and it said, I'm the 221 car. Don't mess with me.
It is a very, very small number of turbocharged entries we've had here this weekend. Of course, Marks is the best out of the pile, speed-wise at over 221 miles an hour.
Well, if you want to talk like you did earlier, where you take picks and you say, well, I've watched all weekend, I'd have to say that Werderhausen has made more consistent runs.
Oh, by far.
Than Monday, and Monday's got a good car, and what did you say? On Sunday, they can wake up, and things can come at you. So
they're going to have to try to find a 10th out here anyway, and we'll see if we'll see how aggressive they get, if they overreach, but as long as Mark and the Wolverine team kind of keep doing what they're doing, they are definitely the favorite pair here, statistically speaking, through qualifying.
A to Z, that's what it is. Let's see how they do. The Wolverine to the top lights. Here's Monday, and the Chevrolet Corvette goes fully in. Stage. Werderhausen brings the boost up. He's in, lights it down, and problems for Monday, and Werderhausen's going for another flyby down to 217 miles per hour. 373.8. They're off a little bit on the ET, but it don't matter. They're going to another round, and that's Sonny going to play games with them much more today. But, man, Joe and the guys seem happy. They put a real respectable tune-up in that thing. Joe Oplowski from Hyperactive, who does the tuning on that car. I got to be happy for that team, man. That guy, Rudolph, I don't know, I followed him in the Midwest deal, and it was just incredible. I mean, there were some moments where, you get lemon butt watching. I'm like, gosh. But then he just started to get the feel, and that's all it takes. It's time.
It is. It's time. The guy who has those natural instincts, they just got to get refined a little bit, refine, and it's cool to watch somebody over the course of a season come into their own like that.
You're absolutely right, because you remember, it's 7,000 RPM.
Monday's car, as expected, was absolutely hyped up to the max. It shook so hard the door almost flew off it. A filling, rattling way to end the weekend for Monday. Tom Blinko and Kevin Rivenbark.
And as you saw yesterday, Howard Newton standing over there along the right side of the burnout box. He's getting ready to happen. Here's Kevin Rivenbark.
They're trying to get Rivenbark's car started. They're shooting some ether in the front of this thing. Rivenbark's turning the engine over. Raw fuel coming out of the Zoomy pipes.
Really?
And it started. It started. That was a dicey moment. You probably started some equipment with that ether can every once in a while in the middle of the winter.
No, I beat up my younger brother quite a few times because of the holes and pistons that he put in.
That stuff will do some real bad things to a diesel if it's misapplied or over-applied.
That stuff is treacherous in the cold on a diesel. If you give it the first squirt, and you're cranking it, and you just give it one touch, and it don't work, and if it don't work, quit.
Otherwise,
of
you
the
could end
game.
up with a spectacular result.
Absolutely. Been there, done that. Here we go, Rivenbark. Now, what's going through the guy's head? You know, I know he's a professional, won some championships.
Nothing. This that rattled.
That don't rattle. Just, it's running. Who cares? Let's
Another
go.
day at the office for this guy.
Out of Wallace, North Carolina. He'll be pulled up here in the Q80 Chevrolet.
Scott Tidwell Racing, owner-operator of this baby, or I should say owner of this baby. Operator being Kevin Rivenbark. Tom Blinko did not run the final qualifying session last night. They ended up 30th on the sheet. A full 10th of a second behind Rivenbark.
Well, Patrick's over there from PTP over on the right side for Blinko, and we'll see how they do. That beautiful black Chevrolet Corvette, man, that thing is gorgeous. 2021 chassis. Could be. No, Rivenbark says, yeah, it could be, but it ain't going to be. How about 368.6 at 205 miles per hour for that team of Rivenbark? Doesn't matter how much stuff they scored in it to get it started. Blinko goes down 372.2 at 203 miles per hour, and you go to the short part of the track being the 60-foot, and it was .939 for Rivenbark, 951 Blinko, and then to the split, quicker at 248. LDR to the lanes, please. LDR to the lanes. LDR, limited drag radio. We need you in the lanes. $11 and $12 for LDR. Lanes 11 and 12, please. Here we go. The headliner. Palm Olive getting ready as they back up in the right side. Rutherford, Texas. PJS Racing Engines. The 53 Chevrolet Corvette.
We talked about the kind of unique look of Pesz's car in that the nose on these cars normally has a fair amount of rise in the center. Nose very flat, so the entire supercharger exposed to the breeze. For Kurt Steding, the more cowled version of this, the 2020 Camaro, all you can see is the carbon fiber hat as it moves forward. The P2 contracting team would love to send two cars into the second round, and by right they should. Number 2 qualifier taking on number 31. Well, we have seen an upset or two, the biggest one being, of course, the Harris-Barnett matchup. We've not necessarily seen one on performance of the cars yet. Not saying we're going to see one here, but it's rare to go through a 32-car field and not see that happen. Pesz, of course, out of Texas, PJS Racing Engines.
And Kimlin, his wife, walks away from the headhunter Chevrolet Corvette. Here comes Steding. Ever so gently. Going to get her in the top light in the pre-staging. He's in. Oh, Steding! 005 red, man! I'll tell you what, you don't want to be from Maumee, Ohio on that one. Brandon Pesz on the right side gets down there. 379, 197 miles per hour. Man, that's an upsetter right there.
That is a tough break. We saw it happen earlier this round, and we see it again. 5 thou red. He was doing his best to go up there and be aggressive, and just 5 thousandths of a second on the wrong side of green.
I almost feel embarrassed to say 31 takes out 2, but with these numbers and as tight as it is, it's almost a free-for-all. When you get up there, you better cut the light down.
What a dogfight, and now it is the final pair of the round. It is Jeff Jones and Melanie Salemi. So Jeff Jones completing the burnout. The PJS Racing Team cars qualified mid-pack and then 31 and 32. The fact that they have put 2 cars through the first round is miraculous. Jeff Jones has the tallest order of anybody on the property right now to try to beat Melanie Salemi in what is effectively a black and purple colored bulldozer as she has just been blazing her way down the racetrack.
You know, earlier you were on FloVision talking, and I didn't want to give you the nudge, but I was waiting for you to say, she did it in the sun, she did it in the dark, she's done it everywhere here and run those numbers.
She has.
And look at this.
Yeah.
A little bit of cloud coverage going to help some people out here. And Jeff Jones going to be one. Melanie Salemi says, I'll take it. There they are. Call them the Sullivan family because there's so many boys in there that couldn't go to the service together. John, Jim. They got so many brothers over there, too, in Buffalo. Great guys. John the tuner, Jim the chassis builder. And from the words of that young lady, she said, man, I feel so comfortable when I see my brother-in-law. It's something people get acclimated to. You know, it's just something that helps her in her driving deal. And the engineer, Evan, ran under the car just to make sure everything was A-OK.
Went full Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon back there to knock some stones off the tire.
Here we go. Jones now getting a tap on the hood. It's time for him to edge that high-powered Chevrolet Corvette into the beams. Gently as he does. He knows he's going to need everything on this tree to win this battle. It's going to happen now.
Buys himself 300s, and at the stripe it is Melanie Salemi, a 362.3 at 2:05. A crushing run out here for Salemi to finish this first round. Jeff Jones was 34 in the tree, runs 373.2, but Melanie moves on. That was low ET of the entire round by Melanie Salemi right there.
So that just goes to put the proof in the pudding right there. That car is on the winning edge again.
Want to know what the matchups are for round two?
Love to know it, Brian.
Salemi will take on Abbott. Harris will take on Tutterow. Werderhausen will take on Wildgust. Halsey will take on Decker. Pesz Lee. Quartuccio Shelton. Rivenbark Jones. Matos Snyder.
Wow.
Hey now.
And you thought it was tough in round one.
Right. It's like
man, it's unreal. You know, there's none in this classification. There's none of that. You know, sometimes you go, "Oh, I got to race him, no problem." You know,
well, yeah, no, there's none of that.
A lot of that happens sometimes. Oh, we got it covered. Don't worry. Not in this round. Not in the second round. This is going to be another battle. Well, there's plenty of food being served at the concession areas, fans. Don't forget, they have cheeseburgers, chickens and fries, chicken, hot dog, pulled pork, nachos, fries, chips, candy, soda, and beer.
13 out of the 16 advancing cars ran in the 60s. Only 3 cars ran in the 70s. The slowest advancing run is a 379.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who owns that?
Pesz. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm just saying it's ridiculous performance. I mean, the slowest run to advance is 79, meaning, you know, nobody was out there having a full-on pedal fest. It was just, that was a fantastic first round of Outlaw Pro Mod action. Pro 2
on the starting line with Bradenton Motorsports Park track owner Victor Alvarez. Victor, incredible first round of Pro Mod. Give us your thoughts on what we just saw out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first round of this race is always the best round because it's anybody's race to win. A lot of upsets, a lot of very happy people, and just great, amazing side-by-side action. Everybody ran really, really well, and it's just a preview of what's to come. I think it's going to be an amazing race.
Yeah, it's been great so far. We talk about upsets. We see Stevie Fast go out. We see J.R. Gray go out. We see Lyle Barnett go out. A lot of big people go out. Kurt Steding goes out. He goes red. Yep. What are your thoughts as we get into the later rounds with some of the heavy hitters not being in the mix?
Well, I think it's awesome because, it's really cool to have a race this big. Like, when you have 5 rounds, there's a lot of opportunity for things to happen. I always say there's only one way to win a race. There's a million ways to lose it. So it's really cool. Like, at this point, you look at the ladder, there's some fast cars, but it's anybody's race to win. We have 4 more rounds, and, these guys are going to have to work hard and drive really well.
For sure. $51,000 on the line, and we've added a berth into the World Series of Pro Mod race. It's coming up here in March.
Yep.
What does that do you think, for these racers that are not invited into that race as we get into the later rounds?
Oh, I've been walking around and talking to them. So I've been bombarded. Anyone who's not invited wants to be invited. I think it's just one more thing to shoot for. I was telling somebody earlier, it's really good to do these races with big purses and these invites and just these perks because we're giving them an opportunity to perform on the highest level. Not that they don't always, but you can't hold anything back. You've just got to come out here swinging. And it gives a good show for the fans, so it's all around awesome.
That's one of the things that makes this race so incredible is the show.
Yeah.
So coming out of Pro Mod, going into Pro 275,
yep.
What matchups are you looking forward to, or who are you looking to see how they perform as we get into this first round of eliminations?
Man, I think that all of the matchups from in Pro X, again, it's anybody's race to win. I think everybody's got like this weight on their shoulders to just get through first round. You know, first round's like the worst one. It's hard to predict what's going to happen. We've got a lot of good matchups. I mean, we've had some guys that normally run really well that struggled a little bit. So you don't know. They may come out here and put up a crazy number and burn the boards down. You just don't know. So I think it's going to be a really good first round. I think it's going to be a great race. Thank you to everybody who came out. Last night was amazing. We had this place just going crazy. And it's just a great race, and it's great for the sport, and we're happy to see that, you know, drag racing is alive and well.
Well, thank you so much for putting on such an incredible show. We are so excited to be here and be able to bring it to all the people that couldn't make it out here.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Wade, Petey, and the boys are getting the track ready for our radio classes to come up. They're going to finish that. We're going to be back to the action in just a couple minutes.
It's out there. So Fred being Manny Bajinga's cars, anything Manny's done, well, his old card, Ted, is in #1 qualifier, and Fred is #2 qualifier, and Manny Bajinga may be putting the sticks away and selling the land, but that guy's got a career in racing, I'll tell you that.
Absolutely does. He'll be around for a long, long time to come. That is his plan, of course, to enjoy his time post operating his business. It will be at the racetrack. Pro modified car that they've begun to shake down and get prepared. That'll be another addition to his fleet.
What's the goal for NHRA? What's he want to do, Pro Mod?
Yes.
That's the goal. That's what he's...
I mean, listen, he's one of those guys that when you go in somewhere, you go in with, you know, both feet in your face at the same time. I mean, he doesn't show up anywhere to...
always been that
way. He doesn't show up anywhere to just say, hopefully we can qualify this week. No, if the first day the guy rolls in, he expects to have a car and in himself to be able to win a race.
Was it the maybe there was men's? Did he have the little Mustang back in the NMRA days? Was it a Lucas oil car?
Tore it to pieces. I mean, not tore the competition to pieces.
Yeah, he was something else, man.
Yeah.
Something else.
Street or strip. Prep or no prep. Bracket killer or heads up warrior. It feels great to eliminate your competition. Demand the best in suspension and cooling components. Demand AFCO.
For more than 25 years, ProCharger has made the most powerful, reliable, and advanced supercharger kits on the market. More than 100 national championships in the last 15 years and thousands of wins at the racetrack, there's only one choice. Best-in-class performance on the street with the broadest product selection available, including 50 state legal system. ProCharger. Invented, engineered, and built in the USA.
Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
For more than 25 years, ProCharger has made the most powerful, reliable, and advanced supercharger kits on the market. More than 100 national championships in the last 15 years and thousands of wins at the racetrack, there's only one choice. Best-in-class performance on the street with the broadest product selection available, including 50 state legal system. ProCharger. Invented, engineered, and built in the USA. Flying A Motorsports, #1 in toter homes and trailers in the USA. We offer an unbeatable selection of new and used race car trailers, stackers, car haulers, toters, and motorhomes. Ready for an upgrade to your current trailer? We accept trade-ins and consignments. We offer nationwide delivery right to your doorstep or factory pickup. Check out our inventory at flyingamotorsports.com. Flying A Motorsports, built on trust since 1988.
At Late Model Engines, we machine, assemble, build, and test every engine in-house. Our expert staff and state-of-the-art facility means we build your engine right. Our dyno gives us the best R&D possible and the performance, power, and reliability you need to win. Check out LateModelEngines.com and see why we're a step ahead of the competition.
No secrets out of that Puerto Rican guy, I'll tell you that for sure. All right, we're getting close. Well, the Boomer and the Groomer down there getting this track ready for Pro 275. I tell you that Manny was in the house this weekend.